Hare Krishna. Today we will read the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The chapter name is Opulence of Absolute Truth. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Bhuya Eva Mahabaho Shunu Me Param Vachaha Yatate Aham Priyamanaya Vakshyami Hita Kamaya. Supreme Lord said, my dear friend, mighty armed Arjuna, listen again to my supreme word, which shall I impart to you for your benefit, which will give you great joy. Purport. His Divine Grace Ithi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The word Paramam is explained thus by Parashar Muni. One is full in six opulence, who is a full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, renunciation is Paramam, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. While Krishna was present on this earth, he displayed all six opulence. Therefore, the great sages, like Parashar Muni, have all accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Krishna is instructing Arjuna in more confidential knowledge of his opulence and his work. Previously, beginning with the 7th chapter, Lord already explained his great energies, different energies, and how they are acting. Now, in this chapter, he explained his specific opulence to the Arjuna. In the previous chapter, he has clearly explained his different energies to establish devotion in firm conviction. Again, in this chapter, he tells Arjuna about his manifestation and various opulence. The more one hear about the Supreme God, the more one fix in the devotional service. One should always hear about the Lord in the association of devotee. That will enhance one's devotional service. Discourse in the society of a devotee can take place only among those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. Others cannot take part in such discourses. Lord clearly tells Arjuna that because he is very dear to him, for his benefit such discourse are taking place. Name viduh surah ganaha parabhavam na maharshaya aham adirhi devanam maharshinanam cha sarvashaha. Neither the host of demigod nor the great sages know my origin, and for in every respect I am the source of demigods and the sage. Purport. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord. No one is greater than him. He is the cause of all causes. Here it is also stated by the Lord personally that he is the cause of all the demigods and sages. Even the demigods and the great sages cannot understand Krishna. They can understand neither his name nor his personality. So, what is the position of the so called scholar of this teeny planet? No one can understand why the Supreme Lord come to earth as an ordinary human being and execute such commonplace and eight wonderful activities. One should know then that scholarship is not the qualification necessary to understand Krishna. Even the demigods and the great sages have tried to understand Krishna by their mental speculation. They have failed to do so. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also it is clearly said that even the great demigod are not able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They can speculate to the limit of their imperfect senses, can reach the opposite conclusion of impersonalism, of sometimes not manifested by the three qualities of material nature, or they can imagine something by mental speculation, but it is not possible to understand Krishna by such foolish speculation. Here the Lord indirectly said that if anyone want to know the absolute truth, here I am present as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am the Supreme, and one should know this. Although one cannot understand the inconceivable Lord who is personally present, he nonetheless exists. We can actually understand Krishna who is eternal, blissful, full of blissful knowledge simply by studying his words in in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The impersonal Brahman can be conceived by a person who is already in the inferior energy of the Lord, but the personality of God cannot be conceived unless one is in the transcendental position, because most men cannot understand Krishna in his actual situation. Out of his causeless mercy, he descended to show favor to such speculator. Yet, despite the Supreme Lord's uncommon activity, they speculated due to the contamination in the material energy. Still think that the impersonal Brahma is the Supreme. Only the devotee who is fully surrendered unto the Supreme can understand by the grace of Supreme Personality that he is Krishna. Devotee of the Lord do not bother about the impersonal Brahma conception of God, and their faith and devotion bring them to surrender immediately unto the Supreme Lord. And out of the causeless mercy of the Krishna, they can understand Krishna. No one else can understand him. So even great sage agree. What is the Atma? What is the Supreme? It is He whom we have to worship. Yamam ajam anadim cha veti lokah maheshwaram asamudah sa mrityeshu sarva papeha pramuchyate. He, he who knows me as the unborn, as the beginless, as the Supreme Lord. Of all the words he undiluted among the man is freed from all sins. Purport. As stated in the 7th chapter, those who are trying to elevate themselves to the platform of self-realization are not ordinary men. They are superior to million and million of ordinary men who have no knowledge of spiritual realization. But out of those actually trying to understand their spiritual situation, one can come to the understanding that the Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The proprietor of everything, the unborn, is the most spiritual, is the most spiritually realized person. In that stage only, one can has fully understood Krishna supreme position, can be free completely from all the sinful reaction. Here the word ajam means unborn. Sometime and should not be confused with the living entities who are described in the second chapter as ajam. Lord is different from the living entities who are taking birth and dying due to the material attachment. The conditioned soul are changing their body, but his body is not changeable. Even when he comes to the material world, he comes as the same unborn. Attachment. The conditioned soul are changing their body, but his body is not changeable. Even when he comes to the material world, he comes as the same unborn. Therefore, in the 4th chapter, it is said that Lord, by his eternal potency, is not under the inferior material energy, but he is always in the superior energy. He was existing before the creation, and he is different from his creation. All the demigods were created within this material world, but as far as Krishna is concerned, it is said that he is not created. Therefore, Krishna is different even from the from the great demigod like Brahma and Shiva. And because he is the creator of Brahma and Shiva and all other demigods, he is the supreme person of all planet. Krishna is therefore different from the everything that is created. Anyone who knows him as such immediately become liberated from the sinful reaction, and one who is liberated from all the sinful activity to be in the knowledge of Supreme Lord. Only by devotional service he can be known, and not by any other means, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. One should not try to understand Krishna as a human being. As stated previously, only as foolish persons think him to be the human being. This is again expressed here in a different way. Man who is not foolish, who is intelligent enough to understand the constitutional position of the Godhead, is always free from the such sinful reaction. If Krishna knows as the son of Devaki, then how can he be unborn? That is also explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. When he appeared before the Devaki and Vasudeva, he was not born as the ordinary child. He appeared in his original form, and then he transformed himself into ordinary child. Anything done under the creation of under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. He cannot be contaminated by the material reaction, which may be auspicious or inauspicious. The conception that there are things auspicious and inauspicious in the material world is more or less a mental concoction. Because there is nothing auspicious in the material world, everything is inauspicious, because the every material task marks is inauspicious. We simply imagine it to be inauspicious. Real inauspicious depend on the activity is Krishna consciousness in full devotion and service. Therefore, if we want all want our activity to be auspicious, then we should work under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Such directions are given in the authoritative scriptures such as Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, or from a bona fide spiritual master, because spiritual master is the representative of the Supreme Lord, and his direction is directly the direction of the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master, saintly person, and the scriptures is direct in the same way. There is no contradiction in this three source. All actions are done under such direction are free from the reaction of the pious or impious activity of material world. The transcendental attitude of the devotee in the performance of activities is actually that of renunciation, that is called sannyasa. Anyone acting under the direction of Supreme Lord is actually a sannyasi or a yogi, not a man who has simply take the dress of the sannyasi and pseudo yogi. बुद्धिर् ज्ञान असमोह क्षमा सत्यम धम समः सुखम दुखम भवो भवो भयम च एव च अहिंसा समत्तः तुष्टिः तपोदानं यशः भवन्ति भवः भूतानां मतः मत्त एव पृथगः विद्धः. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, self-control, calmness, pleasure and pain, birth, death, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy are created by me alone. The different qualities of living entities, be they good or bad, all are created by the Krishna, and they are described here. Intelligence refers to the power of analyzing things in the proper perspective. Knowledge refers to the understanding that what is spirit, what is matter. Order knowledge obtained by a university education pertaining only to matter. It is not accepted here as knowledge. Knowledge means knowing the distance between the spirit and matter. In modern education, there is no knowledge about the spirit. They simply taking care of material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, the academic knowledge is not complete. Asamo, Asamohaha, freedom from the doubt and delusion, can be achieved when one is not hesitant, when he understands the transcendental philosophy. Slowly but surely he becomes free from the bewilderment. Nothing should be accepted blindly. Everything should be accepted with care and with caution. Kamsa Shama, forgiveness should be practiced, and one should excuse the minor offense of other. Satyam, truthfulness means factor should be presented facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. Facts should not be misrepresented. Represented. According to the social convention, it is said that one can speak the truth only when it is palatable to other. But that is not truthfulness. Truth should be spoken in straight and forward way, so other will understand actually what are the fact. If man is a thief, and if people warned that he is a thief, that is truth. Although sometimes the truth is unpalatable, one should not refrain from speaking it. Man is a thief, and if people warned warn warned that he is the thief, that is the truth. Unpalatable, one should not refrain from speaking it. Truthfulness demands that the fact is presented as they are for the benefit of others. Demands that the facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. That is the definition of truth. Self control means the sense should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. There is no prohibition against meeting the proper needs of the sense, but unnecessary enjoyment is detrimental for the spiritual advancement. Therefore, Shen should be restrained from the unnecessary use. Similarly, mind should not be indulged in unnecessary thoughts, that is called samaha or calmness. Nor should one spend one's time pondering over earning money, that is misuse of thinking power. The mind should be used to understand the primary necessity of human being, and that should be presented authoritatively. The power of thoughts should be developed in the association of a person who are authority in the scripture. Saintly person and the spiritual master are those whose thinking is highly developed. Sukham, pleasure of happiness, should always be in that which is favorable for the cultivation of spiritual knowledge of Krishna consciousness. And similarly, that which is painful and which cause distress is that which is unfavorable for the cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Anything favorable for the development of Krishna consciousness should be accepted, and anything unfavorable should be rejected. Bhava, birth, should be understood to refer to the body. As far as soul is concerned, there is neither birth nor death. That we have discussed in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita. Birth and death applies to one's embodiment in the material world. Fear is due to the worrying about the future. Person in Krishna consciousness has no fear because by his activities he is sure to go back to the spiritual sky and back to home, back to Godhead. Therefore, his future is very bright. Others, however, do not know what is their future hold, and they have no knowledge of what their next life holds. So they are therefore constantly anxiety. If you want to get free from the anxiety, the best course is to understand Krishna and be situated always in Krishna consciousness. In that way, we will be free from all the fear. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the fear is caused by our absorption in the illusory energy. But those who are free from the illusory energy, those who are confident that they are not the material body, that they are a spiritual part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore engage in the transcendental service of the Supreme God, have nothing to fear, that their future is very bright. That is, this future is very bright. This fear is condition of a person who are not in Krishna consciousness. Bhayam, fearlessness is only possible for one who is Krishna, who is for one in Krishna consciousness. Ahimsa. Ahimsa, non-violence, means that one should not do anything which will put others in miseries or confusion. Material activity that are promised by so many politicians, sociologists, philanthropists, etc., do not produce very good result because the politicians and the philanthropists have no transcendental vision. They do not know what is actually beneficial for human society. Ahimsa means the person should be trained in such a way that the full utilization of the human body can be achieved. The human body is meant for spiritual realization. So any movement of or any commission which do not further that end commit violence on the human body, that which further the future spiritual happiness of the person is generally called non-violence. Samta, equanimity, referred to the freedom from attachment and the aversion to be very much attached or very much detached is not the best. Material world should be accepted without attachment or aversion. Similarly, that is favorable for prosecuting the Krishna consciousness should be accepted, and which is unfavorable should be rejected. That is called samta, equanimity. A person in Krishna consciousness has nothing to reject, nothing to accept, unless it is useful in the prosecution of the Krishna consciousness. Tushti, satisfaction, means that one should not be eager to gather more and more material goods by unnecessary activity. One should be satisfied with whatever is obtained by the grace of Supreme Lord. That is called satisfaction. Tapas means austerity or penance. There are the many rules and definition in the Vedas which apply here, like rising early in the morning and taking bath. Sometimes is very troublesome to the rising early in the morning, but whatever voluntary trouble one may suffer in this way is called penance. Similarly, there are the prescription for fasting on certain day of the month. One may be not inclined to practice such fasting but because of their determination to make advancement in the science, Krishna consciousness, he should accept such body troubles which are recommended. However, one should not fast unnecessary or against a Vedic instruction. One should not fast for some political purpose that is described in the Bhagavad Gita, as fasting is in ignorance, or anything done in ignorance or passion does not lead to spiritual advancement. Everything done in the mode of goodness does advance one. However, fasting done in terms of Vedic injection enrich one spiritual knowledge. As far as charity is concerned, one should give 50% of his earning to the good cause. And what is a good cause? It is that which is conducted in terms of Krishna consciousness. That is not only a good cause, but it is the best cause, because Krishna is good and his cause is also good. The charity should be given to a person who is engaged in Krishna consciousness. According to the Vedic literature, it is enjoined that charity should be given to the Brahmanas. This practice is still followed, although not very nicely in terms of Vedic injection. But still, the injection is that charity should be given to the Brahmanas. Why? Because they are engaged in higher cultivation of spiritual knowledge. A Brahmana is supposed to devote his whole life to understanding Brahman. Brahma Jnana is one who knows Brahman. He is called Brahmana. And the charity is offered to the Brahmanas because since they are always engaged in higher spiritual service, they have no time to earn their livelihood. In the Vedic literature, charity is also to be awarded to the renouncer of life, the sannyasi. The sannyasi begged from door to door, not for the money but for the missionary purpose. System is that they go from door to door to awaken the householder from the slumber of ignorance, because the householder are engaged in family affair and have gotten their actual purpose in life, awakening their Krishna consciousness. It is the business of the sannyasi to go as beggar to the householder and to encourage them to be Krishna conscious. As it is said in the Vedas, one should awake and achieve what is due him in this human form of life. Knowledge and the method is distributed by the sannyasi, hence the charity is to be given to the renouncer of life, to the Brahmana, similarly the good cause, not to any whimsical cause. Yasaham fame should be according to the Lord Chaitanya, who said that man is famous when he is known as the great devotee. That is a real fame. A person has become the great man in Krishna consciousness and is known, then he is truly famous. One who does not have such fame is infamous. All these qualities are manifested throughout the universe in human society. In the society of the demigods, there are many forms of humanity on the planet, and these qualities are there now for the one who want to advance in Krishna consciousness. Krishna creates all this quality, but the person develop himself from within, and we engage in devotional service of Supreme Lord, develop all good qualities as arranged by the Supreme Lord. And whatever we find good or bad, the origin in Krishna, nothing can manifest in the material world which is not in Krishna, not in Krishna, not in Krishna. That is the knowledge. Although we know that things are differently situated, we should realize that everything flow from Krishna.